What's up, everybody? Welcome to Awesome Tech You Can't Buy It, a weekly show where I bring you the 5 best crowdfunding projects that have recently landed on the internet. First up this week, we have the Rover from Sphero. So Sphero is that company that makes the little robotic sphere balls that you can drive around with your smartphone. They make all kinds of little STEM robots that teach you how to code and program, and this is their newest one. The biggest difference between Rover and Sphero's past robots is that whereas some of the older robots were kind of designed for beginners and people who were just learning, this one is designed to teach people not only to learn how to code and program, but to take it way beyond that. So it has all kinds of crazy abilities. It is currently up on Kickstarter right now for $199, and they're gonna ship it in October. Next up, we have Levia, which is a levitating lamp. It's pretty straightforward. We've seen these before on Kickstarter. The way this thing works is that it has a magnet that kind of holds a light bulb in place, and then it uses wireless inductive charging to power the light bulb. So there are no wires attached to it whatsoever, but it still glows. Do you need a levitating lamp? Probably not, but do you want one? Hell yeah, you do. It's a levitating lamp. How cool would this look in your living room? This thing comes in 2 different flavors right now. You can get one in white or one in black. The white one is a little bit cheaper, and you can get it for $134, whereas the black one is currently up on Kickstarter for $151. Regardless of which one you pick, they expect to ship these in July of 2019. Next up, we have Sketchmark, which is probably the coolest stencil tool that I've ever laid eyes on. Here's the idea behind this thing. It's pretty much just a little stencil that you can slip into your notebook, and it'll help you draw things like to-do lists and angles and pie charts and all kinds of other stuff that really just helps you be organized. The idea is that instead of having to go out and buy notebooks that have all of this stuff pre-drawn in it, you can just draw them on the fly in whatever notebook you happen to be using. In addition to functioning like a bookmark so that you can just slip it into your notebook and never lose what page you're on, it's also the size of a credit card, so it slips easily into your wallet and you always have it on you. Best of all, because it's only just a little sheet of plastic, it's only $12 on Kickstarter right now, and they expect to ship that in June. Next up, we have Atomo, which is something called molecular coffee. So it's basically just coffee that isn't made from coffee beans. It's a pretty weird idea, but basically what these guys did is they went out and they studied the flavor compounds in coffee that make it taste delicious like coffee does, and then they recreated that from the ground up using specific molecules. The cool thing is that by doing it through this process, they were actually able to go back and take out certain compounds that weren't good in coffee, like tannins, for example, which typically make your coffee more bitter and mean you have to put sugar in it to counteract that bitterness. So you're probably wondering, why the hell do we need molecular coffee when we have perfectly good coffee beans? Well, here's the reason. Apparently, climate change is really bad for coffee plants, and they're dying off. It's becoming more and more difficult to grow them in the places that they naturally grow, so these guys are getting ahead of the game and wanted to make some coffee that is gonna be the same price regardless of how much coffee we're growing in the world. If this sounds like something you can get behind, you can currently get a bag that makes about 50 cups of coffee for $24, or you can get 125 cups of coffee for about $50. It scales up depending on how much you pay for, so if you pledge more, you're gonna get more coffee in return. You are gonna have to wait until the end of the year though, because they expect to ship this stuff in December. Last but not least, we have the weather poster from a company called Typified, which is an ink-based, internet-connected weather display. It's a pretty weird idea, but I think the best way to describe it is that this thing is an adaptive, internet-connected poster that updates automatically and changes according to the forecast. So a couple big things to note. This isn't a screen. It actually doesn't have any backlighting. It doesn't emit any light whatsoever. Instead, it uses something more similar to e-ink to update itself continuously throughout the day, so you always know what the weather is, but you don't have a screen shining into your house at all times. If you back the project right now, you can get one for about $134 on Kickstarter, but keep in mind you're gonna have to pay after 2 years to keep the service going. I think it's like $750 a year. But anyway, they expect to ship this in July of this year. That does it for this week, but be sure to tune in again next week and I will bring you 5 more awesome crowdfunding projects that you probably wouldn't have seen otherwise. Thanks for watching, everybody. If you like this video, definitely hit that subscribe button and check out some of our older stuff over here. We do this every week, so if you want to check out our future episodes, you can go over to digitaltrends.com, and we also do this on Instagram TV.